Hello, hello, hello. Doing this again. I can get my poop in a pile. Yeah, all right. So, I did it. Finally did it. I have my ladies on here. Come on in, girls. Oh, okay, I could keep my phone straight. That'd be nice. That'd be good.
Yay, we made it.
Did it! We did
Woohoo.
it!
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, so today I am kicking it with my girls live. This is the lovely Suze, which joined us previously on the previous live, talking about Scorpio full moon aspects. And here we have the lovely Anissa with Love to Friendship. Making her debut, we're popping her like cherry. Ow.
London. Woo!
How are you? How are you? How y'all doing? How's the week been?
I'm tired. It's midnight.
Right? I know we're jumping time zones with you right now.
Yeah, if I hadn't messaged Susie, then I would have been waiting till 4 a.m. Like, where is everyone?
Right. Oh. See, we Yanks messing y'all all up. Messing y'all all
It's okay. I'm very civilized. I'm still drinking tea at midnight, so yes, it's
Look
all
at you.
good.
I would have been dead on to wine or like Jack or Henny or rum or something by this time.
I might need it when this is done.
Right. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Yeah, so now that we've actually gotten past the full moon, like what came, did anything come up for you like in particular when like this past weekend when the full moon hit?
I was laid out. I started using crystals after Kat, you gave me one, and then I started buying some black obsidian and stuff like that. So I tried it, and it laid me out for like 2 days straight. I could not get out of bed. So
Really?
I don't know if that's normal, but
But you recovered. You recovered. You're here, right?
yeah,
And you said, how
that
about
that
you?
is normal. Because your body's kind of getting used to the energy and stuff. So yeah, get as much sleep as you can. Sleep with your crystals. It works.
Right.
For me, you guys know that I've been through criminal court with my ex. I'm now going through family court. So we've been through it the last sort of year. So for me, it's literally been because of the Pluto Uranus stuff that's going on, literally electrical products in my entire home. The Hoover went, the toaster went, my kettle went. So I've got a new Hoover, toaster, kettle. I have a new phone this week. Like all my electrical stuff is just blown up and gone. The Scorpio has just severed ties with anything old that I had that my ex has been anywhere near.
Right.
So it's literally all out with the old and in with the new for me. All electronical devices.
Damn right. Here. Yeah. If it's
Yeah,
gotta go, let it go. Yeah,
exactly.
I think that's kind of like where everybody was at with it. Like I heard a lot of people saying, they were crying. They had some conversations with people that they didn't expect to have, which I mean that's a great thing, but some that people weren't necessarily ready for. Um, and maybe they were ready to have it with a person, but like they weren't ready for their reaction to it.
Mm.
Whether it was like at a distance or like even if they were alone, like people kind of like making their peace with a lot of things. It seems to be like the reoccurrent theme. So I mean that's great. It might be a little painful, but I guess that's what Scorpio does, right? It gives you hell, but then it's like, you know what? For all the pain that I've been through, fuck it, let it go. It's gotta go.
Yeah, and my Pluto is in Scorpio, so Pluto has gone retrograde now. So my baby girl is a Scorpio sun, so no messing about this end.
Right. Suze, how have you and the girls been? Like, was it kind of like a collective, like, let's all just relax, give mommy a break, but you guys take a break too, or they just were like, hell no.
That sounds nice. That sounds
Right?
nice. But that didn't happen.
In theory.
Oh,
Oh.
I
What
guess
was it?
it's good though that people were kind of like dealing with their own stuff, maybe instead of having that conversation with others,
Right.
because we could kind of just settle within ourselves instead of projecting it outwards. It's super painful, but it's good to settle that within ourselves sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of like worrying about kind of like, I guess sometimes we worry or think about making like the healing thing like something that we have to do collectively. I know that a huge thing that I guess people caught up is like needing closure and, needing to talk to whoever, they perceive as having done, any harm emotionally or mentally.
Mm.
And it's kind of like, no, like you can give yourself that peace and it's kind of like, let it go, resolve it, let it go, let it be, so that you can close that chapter of your life as opposed to like letting it be rehashed over and over again, right?
Yeah, I think Susie and I are both at that stage where there's like, if you can't have any healthy communication with the father of your child or children, then you don't communicate and you let other advocates do it for you and you
Right.
keep your peace.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So especially in like I find that in the spiritual community period, whether you're something from a background that's more organized or you're in a broader the broader scene or broader scape of spirituality, there's a lot of kind of like, again, the whole love and light thing to the point where you're not actually handling real life issues.
Mm.
And for me, it's like I think that a lot that's where a lot of people come into harm, is because we're trying to make it some big metaphysical act of forgiveness, and we have to talk about it and cleanse ourselves and whatnot. Like you actually just prolong a really painful situation instead of just learning to like process it on your own and let that go. And like I see that this is something that both of you ladies are like kind of like both making this, you're building your brands around actually like having these discussions about what goes on, or what or I guess like, or some great practices and steps to get yourself on the path of getting those emotions out, getting those feelings out, having those tough discussions with yourself.
Yeah, healing actually hurts more, I think, than the hurt in the first place. It takes so much more to heal from the nonsense that's been
Yeah,
inflicted to you.
that's true.
So, in order to really be a light, you need to show other people how you're healing and how you
Mm,
have healed and do it
yeah,
in a positive way. So, we're using crystals. We haven't turned into, alcoholics and what have you. We've taken a different route.
Right. At least not practicing ones. We have moments of alcohol, but we try not to abuse any substances as opposed to actually getting it done. Especially now,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, especially since like it's in the collective consciousness that everyone's like, oh, I'm doing shadow work. I'm doing, I'm working with my shadow. I'm trying to heal my shadow, and it's like, yeah, no, it's not necessarily like, it's not an outward thing. It's actually a pretty internal process before you can even get to the point where you're speaking to anyone about those things, those personal topics.
yeah. I think that was a great point that, healing does hurt more, and that's probably why it's not done so often, It's much easier. I don't know if easier is the word, but it's comfortable and it's something that we're used to kind of close off the pain,
Hmm.
because who wants to feel pain, right? But
Yeah.
when we can recognize and see examples that other people have dealt with the pain, really went in there and like felt with it and dug around in the swamps of our heart and can come out the other side, then there is
Hmm.
some kind of, somebody can say for us that, it is worth it to go through that swamp and then get dry and get clean and get some sun on you and feel good again. It's possible.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing with Scorpio, you don't have a choice. Scorpio is the deepest water sign and it will go right through, whether you like it or not. So,
Yeah, that's why I don't think that a lot of people were ready for like the hit of all of the emotions and all of the things happening all at once. On some level, I think everybody had an experience where they really weren't ready for how they were going to feel that day. But a lot of
mm,
people are like, "Yo, this thing is kicking my ass," and I'm really trying. I'm really trying not to go off on people, or I'm really trying to hold my composure because I don't want to walk around being a sopping mess. So,
But as a collective, we manifested this. We've been crying out for deep, true healing for so long. Pluto and Uranus said, well, here you go. There's no running from it now.
Right, right. Like you gonna get this work today. Everybody's gonna be in their collective bag today.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And so then like you said, and it's been overdue because like, so right now this is considering. Well, I don't know how things are, and so like in your neck of the woods, but like a lot of people are coming together and talking on a broader scale about not even just like personal issue, but like actually talking about communal things that might have been overlooked for a really long time.
Yeah, that's happening over here, especially in government. So, what you get with Uranus and Pluto is surprise and secrets exposed, and it's to do with the taboos. It's money laundering, it's fraud, it's sex trades, slave trade. It's all of these things being exposed right in our own government and things like that. I mean, you saw what happened with the royal family, the interview and everything coming up, and racism is not just where you guys are, it's over here and it's being brought to light now. That's one of the things that my ex had to plead guilty to. That's what he's going to be sentenced for. So there's no getting around or getting away from any of this anymore, especially if you're one of these people who you had some sort of public persona, you were very loud about things, thinking you could keep the shadow side in the shadow. But I
Yeah,
think everybody has forgotten that all of the darkness is only allowed to be there because the light understands the balance. And in the shadow, there is still love. The devil was once an angel, otherwise, it wouldn't be allowed. And the devil remembers what love is, and he's just doing his job. To be
right.
honest, he doesn't, he's the double edged sword, isn't it? Okay, you want to do wrong and you want to do this, that, the other. You can have your fun, but there
Hmm.
you always have to pay the piper, and the devil will feed you up in the end to what you have to answer to.
Exactly. Like there's no, well, the whole another big word or hot button word that's going out around now is accountability.
Yes.
And that means not just like, oh, you get to point the fingers at other people that you think are accountable for what they have done to you, but that's also you taking accountability for being complicit and allowing them to do what they've done. So it's
Yeah,
like,
on my Etsy page in my bio, I stated that none of this healing or any of the messages coming out through my business is anything to do with trying to get back at my ex. We were twin flames. He didn't fulfill his part of the contract, and I take responsibility for agreeing to have these life experiences with him in order to bring out certain things in myself to help and heal other people, because the time is calling for it now, and I don't regret anything.
right.
There is only ever just love there, and if he didn't understand that, then he's got more time to learn, but he's not going to waste my time anymore.
Right. Right. And Sue's like you particularly are working in the vein of women's empowerment. So like I'm sure that a lot of the people that you encountered are people who have dealt with, emotional, mental, financial abuses and like is that like I guess that is that something that you find that you definitely do have to bring toward or bring to the table for people who are coming to you as clients. Like, are you ready to take responsibility for the experiences that you had, knowing that if you created it, then you have the ability to like take yourself back from it instead of sitting there and just saying, well, no, I'm just fated to go through it and I have to let myself get dragged.
Right, right, yeah. I think it's like you said empowering, and that's such a beautiful way to put it because while it is hard and it's hard to put that mirror in front of us to say like we have kind of co-created the situation, it's very empowering to know, well, if I created that, then I can destroy it as well. And so I really enjoy, allowing people to kind of unfold and recognize how much power we really do have. Because only in our comfort of what we have created over and over and over again do we recreate what we've created. But
Right.
knowing that we've done that, yeah, we can totally destroy it, I am not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not these thoughts. sure as I've created these thoughts and you know, these feelings, I can destroy them and start fresh and create something else. So I think
And
it's
yeah,
empowering is a good word.
that is
Yeah.
the Scorpio energy. It is the phoenix, and it rules the eighth house of life, death, and rebirth. Absolutely. And I think women forget you hold that void, you have a womb, you have all the capabilities to rebirth yourself as well as give birth 1,000 times over.
Right. And I think it's another part of it is I do appreciate the movement that I am seeing on social media where men are doing their best to become more self-actualized. Even they are going through their collective, I don't know, like re-embracing their right to have feelings, their right to have emotions, their right to, you know, say that I am not these portrayals of or these performances of masculinity that everyone is saying that I should be. So I think it's a kind of like a collective reclamation of like our humanity.
Where are these men?
I'm
Yeah.
raising one.
Hey, right. I was gonna say, hey, my
Yes.
nephew, my nephew over the pond is yeah,
Again, as
but I'm
women, we have the power.
mhm.
We are raising the next generation of men. So, yeah, take
Yeah,
control.
yeah, and there are men who are and who are already under the hashtag of men's work. I follow it because some of the things that I've seen, you know, from men actually collectively coming together, supporting each other in ways that are not materialistic. It's not, hey, let's go to the bar and get smashed because we don't want to feel our feelings. It's,
Yeah.
hey, we're about to go and take this hike and camp out, and we're not going to have our, you know, our phones or social media necessarily, besides, you know, necessarily documentation, but we are
Mm,
actually going to sit out here and talk about the hard things that we as men are always assumed that we don't talk about. And the same thing with women, like we're having these conversations, we're like, hey, where have we let ourselves get caught up in the performance as opposed to letting some of these old paradigms fall away, because that's not us. These old templates of who we should be and how we should behave and what masculinity is and what femininity is. It's like, because we had this discussion before about the anima and animus possession and how we're all kind of like collectively have like a wounded masculine and feminine principle within us because we are in a society that's beating the shit out of us.
Yeah, and I see some people calling me out in your chat. The men are in your chat. I see it. I see
Yes,
it.
well,
They're here, and I know that it's, you know, it's what we see is what we attract to us. So if I'm not finding those people, that's up to me to go out there and find them, right? So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, find your tribe. more than ever. I think it's becoming a lot more real and tangible that people are like, look, these places where I've tried to fit in, like I've tried to fit in at the cost of me, at the cost of my authenticity. And as you said with Scorpio, that is a lot of, yeah, like let whatever is necessary to die, let it die.
yeah, otherwise we only have a certain amount of space. And like you said, with all the old things falling away, excuse me, my daughter wants to put her shoes on at midnight for some reason. Where are you going?
No problem.
You gonna go get some pizza? Yeah, letting everything fall away. So, okay, all right, darling. So we're moving out of Capricorn into the age of Aquarius, and Capricorn is all of the old paradigms and the old ways of doing things. We're even going to see a lot of reformations happening literally in the law. So
Yeah.
legally, things are going to be changing, and over here, that has already started. I've seen that in protecting women in terms of the laws regarding stalking and what have you.
Yes. Yes, because the big case that I guess caused another stir is the officer that abducted that woman. I don't recall her
Yep,
name.
yep.
Um, yeah. So now they're working on. I mean, and that's kind of like, again, the double-edged sword, because we also don't want men to become the next subjugated group, because the ones who are reputable get caught up in trying to, you know, handle or deal with or tame the ones that are not reputable and are not respectable and are not upstanding men, you know, and not, like, again, not trying to collectivize uh punishment, because that now takes away from the men who would stand for rights and equality and again and humanity and being reputable and productive and nurturing in their role in their roles in society and in their own personal lives, their own agency.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've had a very positive experience with the London Metropolitan Police, and all of the policemen that I dealt with were white, like my ex, and they didn't take any of his nonsense. So as soon as they saw me and the fact that I had a baby and I had a teenager who looked like me, and I've got this 6'7" beast trying to force entry, he's, coked up and all the rest of it, and he's shouting racial abuse at the mother of his child. And my 15-year-old boy has to hear that and also take a video as evidence.
Right.
These officers, they didn't take any of his nonsense. As soon as they left my home, they went and arrested him. So I've had a very positive experience with London Metropolitan Police. So there's always two sides to the coin.
Right. Yeah. Again, it's not a condemnation of anybody.
Mm.
It's actually
It's just truth coming out, and it has to come out. So that's what is happening. It has to evolve now.
right. Well, Anissa, while I have you here, I said, and now this is your debut. Like, with your experiences, and now you building your brand and expanding Lux Ascension. Like, what are some of the things that you are definitely like you're finding like the reoccurring themes, or what are some of the things that you are bringing to the experience that your clients have with you when they come upon your websites?
To be honest, it's a whole array of things because we are complex creatures. But something that keeps coming up that I seem to be very good at identifying and healing is trauma. Because I think that for so long we've only looked at like verbalizing it, whereas trauma literally physically happens to you. It's a force of energy that comes on you, on your mind. There are psychic attacks, mental stuff happens. You hold tension in your body, in your cells, and that can make you sick for years and years if you don't release it. So through the herbs and the essential oils and everything else that I use and prayer and what have you and crystals, I'm finding really effective ways of releasing tension from the body on a cellular level.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's kind of like a take care of the outside, but it's another way to take care of the inside a little bit too, like reminding people of self-care as
Yeah, we
well as
have to remember that the trauma happened from the outside, isn't it? So it came at us and weakened our defenses, and some of us have holes in our auras because of that, but there are ways to heal that and seal that up again and make you stronger than you were before.
yeah. Yeah, as I said, I don't think that a lot of people look at it that way. We don't look at ourselves like as energetic beings. We don't really have maybe now it's becoming a little bit more coming to the forefront that we are more than flesh, that emotional things take a toll on us. And when a boundary is broken, when a boundary is violated, or a principle or a moral that you have is trampled on by someone else, whether it's interpersonal, whether it's familial, whether it's communal or governmental, people are now starting to realize, okay, if you step on me, I have the right to not be reactive, but respond in kind, and again, take myself back from this negative experience and not interact and not go along just to get along. And so, is it, and now Sue, so with your can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
can, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry because my chat is kind of acting up. I'm trying to. We had another person that wanted to join, but I'm having difficulty. So actually, I'm gonna stop this live and I'm gonna restart it because
Okay.
there was another join request for Kate
Okay.
Lou.
Before you go, because I'm gonna have to go, so we can switch out. I
Yes.
wanted to ask though about these essential oils. So we were talking to Anissa and trying to get some information and this and that.
Right.
And the reason this whole kind of chat got together was because you know, you kind of mentioned in chat, and I wanted to hear you say it on video on your debut for your followers
The
here.
essential boom boom.
What exactly is the process of getting into a bathtub with essential oils and our, you know, our feminine parts here? Can you explain that? Thank you. And then I gotta go. God bless y'all.
Okay, much love, Sue.
Oh my gosh, so she wants me to talk about vaginas and say pom pom on live.
Right, it's a word. It's a word. It is a thing. Okay, but I'm gonna restart this and bring it back, and we can do a chat about the things, the lady
Okay.
parts. All right.